to the Byrd shop where we always have something cool going on. Now today, it's a Motivicity project car. This is a 2013 Scion FR-S. Now it's not stock anymore, it's already got some goodies going on. It's got Hypermax coilovers all the way around, Advan wheels with some sticky tires, but under the hood, we've got an HKS prototype supercharger. Pumping out quite a bit more extra horsepower. We've got the HKS single race exhaust going out the back. So as you can imagine, we're starting to make some modifications. We've got to work our way down the drive line, make sure everything's up to snuff. So why don't you follow us over to the bench? We're going to show you what we're going to work on next. Check out the awesome lineup from Exedy for picking out a clutch. These guys are one of the biggest clutch suppliers in the world, so you're probably running around with one in your car and you might not even know it. Now we've got everything here from stock OE clutch all the way up to full race. Now if we had, say an OE car without modifications, we could go right here to the original. They know how to make a quality replacement clutch. But we're not about stock here. We're upgrading. We're about performance. So let's walk through the lineup here. Now this one is a stage 1. This is going to give you about 25% better torque capacity, so you're not going to slip over the OE. But it still has the organic compound on the clutch face. Might be a little bit more aggressive, and we've got a little bit more clamp load on the pressure plate itself. So you're going to start to feel a little bit more effort on your pedal, but this guy's going to give you a good chunk more clamp load. Now let's walk up to the stage 2. Now stage 2 starts to make a little bit of a difference when you look at the compound. So here we have a cerometallic versus an organic. So it's going to bite a little bit harder, and it's going to make launch a little bit more tricky. So this is definitely stepping up into the full performance. But between the clutch and the pressure plate, we get about 40% more clamp load. So that's a really nice way to go when you start doing the supercharger route. Now when you go full on, you're getting silly and you're really out there racing and running it hard, the twin disc and the Hyper Series is definitely the way to go. Real low inertia, spins up nice, saves the gearbox, full race setup. But since this is a supercharged car but still streetable, we're going to step back down to our stage 2. So this is the guy we're going to pick to put in our car. Now this is the Motivicity project car. We're going to hammer it hard. So let's get this in there so we can go have some fun. All right, now first thing you want to do is make sure you follow the service manual. We're going to show you some tips along the way, but that's the thing to follow because it's going to be the right procedures for everything. To get started, this is a spin type knob, so we're going to get that guy out of the way. Then we're going to pull this whole center section up here, carefully pry up under, something soft ideally, and this guy will lift right up out of the way. We've got to get this whole center console out to get to the shifter. So we're going to pop this guy out as well. A little connector on the back. We've got 2 screws here. We've got 2 right here. And underneath our cup holder, we've got 2 right down in the center section. After getting your 6 screws, this guy will slide right up and it'll unravel itself right from that shift boot and get out of the way. All right, so at the base of your shifter, you'll see a clip and a little washer. Pop those out carefully and you can disconnect the shaft. So now your shifter's free. We can take these bolts off and remove the shifter. Now that we got the shifter out of the way, we've got plenty of room to work once we try to drop that transmission. So let's go into the bottom side of the car and get cranking on that. Now that we're onto the bottom side, this is where all the heavy lifting is going to happen. There's a couple things we did on the top side real quick. Disconnect the battery. We've got the starter disconnected and the slave cylinder's right there, easy to get to with 2 bolts. We've got a transmission sitting right here, but there's a lot of things in the way. So we're going to start with the heat shield, drop that down. We're going to work our way to the exhaust, get that out of our way, then we can move on to the drive shaft. Here it is right here. The transmission, can you smell it? Clutch is in there, ready to come out. So we've got a couple of things. The back half of our shifter mechanism, got a couple of bell housing bolts and starter, and we're ready to put the trans jack right on here. We can drop the cross member off gently and down. All right, a little cleaning on the transmission side. This is the kind of debris we want to get out of there. If we work over to the transmission, we've got a couple of clips here. Once those are off, the throw-out bearing can come off. Then we can pop off a little throw-out fork. And we're going to do the same thing as far as cleaning this guy up. We're going to spray her down. All right, with everything nice and clean in there, we can do a couple of dry fits. So we've got our new throwout bearing. Make sure it's the right one, moves easily. And our new clutch, our Exedy clutch here, we're gonna put it right on the splines. You wanna make sure it moves freely, and then there's no burrs anywhere to catch, because that's gonna really degrade the performance and maybe even the lifespan of your clutch. Now once that's all done, I can start lubing. Now this is a high temp grease, so it's not gonna break down with all the thermals that you got going on inside this clutch area. And the one thing you wanna do is minimal grease, because this is gonna fly out if you put too much on, and it can scatter across the disc, and you'll end up really degrading the life on that thing, probably even ruining it. So I'm gonna put it on the splines like so, and then when I'm done, I'm gonna give it a good wipe off. All right, before we get started with the flywheel, we're just gonna hit it all with brake clean, wash all the oils down, then we're gonna take it over to the press, and we're gonna carefully press the bearing in till it's flush, and that guy is just about ready to go on. All right, one thing you never want to do on clutch components, because they are critical, is don't run anything down with an impact wrench. A ratchet wrench just to zip the bolts is fine. Once you've done that, then you can go through and you can torque each of these to factory specs, and you want to do it in a star pattern so that you get a nice even rundown of the flywheel and a nice even rundown of the pressure plate. All right, we got our brand new Exedy Stage 2 clutch, and we got our brand new pressure plate. Carefully find the alignment pins. If you notice, there's a gap here. That pressure plate has to get pulled down with the fasteners. Now this is really critical not to just go run one down. So same process, cross or star pattern. Everything else, piece of cake. Just like the way we took it out, we're gonna put it back in. All right, our Motivicity project car is ready to get back on the streets. Now we're gonna go out and have a blast, but first we're gonna get about 500 miles of street driving. We're gonna try to keep it under 4,000 RPM, get everything worn in, but after that, it's full throttle. Break-in seemed like it took forever, but today's payday. We're gonna go have some fun in the FRS. Man, that was a blast. What a great handling little car. You might want to pick one up for yourself. We're done here. We've had our fun. Until next time, we'll see you guys.